Right, joining us now is Jeff Scates, president of the Illinois Corn Growers Association. Good to see you. How are you?
Good to see you, thanks.
Let's talk, I mentioned I saw some combines running as I came into the fairgrounds. Pretty unusual to see combines running during the Illinois State Fair, but they're fortunate they have something to go out there and harvest. Some places that's not the case, especially in the southern part of the state.
Yes, there has been a little bit that has been already chopped for silage. A little bit of harvesting going on. Of course, planting was early in most of the states, so quite a bit of harvesting everywhere.
What are you hearing from your members around the state? I guess some parts maybe a little better than others. We hear about northern Illinois, maybe a little better shape, but it's all over the board, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. The rains have been real spotty all throughout the year and pretty much all across the United States. You can have pockets 5 miles away from you that got decent rains, maybe even a couple of them, and might be looking at 150 bushel corn, where 5 miles away you might be looking at 15.
Yeah, it's going to be that kind of year. A lot of talk right now about the renewable fuel standard and whether a waiver should be granted, and those that are calling for a waiver. What do you say to people when you hear those kind of questions and those kind of comments?
Well, there was a process that was built in to the RFS2, and if a governor wants to request a waiver and has the proper documentation of the reasons why, then the EPA and USDA will look at that and review it and give their decision on it.
Yeah, it's really a piece of legislation, a policy that's working, and it has flexibility built into it. And we keep seeing report after report saying you can waive it, and it's not going to impact corn prices that much. It's probably not even going to impact even demand that much. It's not going to affect really the amount of corn used that much.
Well, I would say there would be somewhat of an impact, and I mean, some livestock growers will be impacted that are wanting the DDGs, so that it can be impacted both ways.
Yeah, you need to look at the whole picture, that's for sure. Now, what about Farm Bill? How frustrated are your members that we still don't have a Farm Bill done?
Very frustrated, and would encourage everyone whenever they see their congressman as they're home over the break to make sure to give them a call and tell them we want the Farm Bill now. Get leadership to bring it to the floor, and let's get this thing passed.
See if we can get it done in September. Now, the Senate passed one, the House Ag Committee passed one. They're different bills. Do you have a preference there, or do you want to see them get together in a conference and get it hammered out?
Certainly prefer the Senate version. We as corn growers have always been interested in a farm bill built around risk management, with the base of that being crop insurance, followed up with a program like the ARC program that would help out during a multiple year revenue decline, not overlap with crop insurance, only pay when needed, doing away with the direct payments. That version is very close to what we had been wanting from the beginning, and certainly anything we can get the House to do and get it to conference and hopefully come out with a good farm bill.
Speaking of crop insurance, we were talking with Dave Owens from Farm Credit Services of Illinois. He said, you talk with growers, some haven't used crop insurance really much in the past because they haven't needed to. Others are very glad they've got it now and probably just now realizing maybe what's in their policy. Others are wishing they had it this year, so that's all over the board as well.
Yes, if there's any questions from crop insurance, encourage everyone to immediately get in contact with their crop insurance representatives and make sure to get everything worked out ahead of time, that they're not missing any steps that they're supposed to be doing.
It's really, that's the key this year for those that have crop insurance, right?
Yes. Don't want to do anything wrong.
So yeah, check with your crop insurance representatives and make sure you follow all the right steps. So Farm Bill and drought, that's kind of dominated things for Illinois corn growers. Any other issues that you're working on this year?
Well, there's quite a few other issues. I mean, the locks and dams being one of the big ones out front. We would really love to see some movement on that and start improving the dilapidated dams. Lockport had a lock wall actually fall into the river, and these are way outdated and very important, not just agriculture, but many industries.
I saw you and other ag officials from the state meeting here at the fairgrounds here on Agriculture Day. I know you're trying to work together, aren't you? Kind of a unified voice for Illinois agriculture.
Yes, I mean, the leaders of the ag groups were together talking, trying to make sure we understood everything everyone's dealing with, and many of us we're not just corn farmers. We're corn farmers, soybean farmers, wheat, maybe, and many livestock. Many of the livestock producers also raise corn for their feed, soybeans. So we're all in it together.
How does that work when you have a debate over something like RFS and livestock producers, corn growers? How's that playing out here in the state of Illinois?
Well, even within commodity groups, there are certainly differences of opinions. Some will. The DDGs are such a vital part of their feed ration. They would be totally against it, while maybe others would be for it, and likewise. But we just need to work together, especially within the state of Illinois, where we all are so closely related.
And the ethanol industry is very important to Illinois. I mean, this is a big producing state.
Yes.
And I know the industry has already adjusted to the higher prices and the drought and have ramped down production.
That's true. Many of the ethanol plants are not running at full capacity, and some have even have shut completely down.
Well, it's good to see you. When will you start harvest?
We actually started Friday, cut out just a little bit just to see what was going on.
And what are you anticipating your yields? What do you think will be your best yield this year?
It's hard to say. It's too hard to predict. There's you can get into spots in fields where we were at, it's places that got above 100 and places that was below 50. So it's going to be pretty variable. That field will probably make about 70.
Wow. And your average what would be your average over at your farm?
Would hope for 165, 170.
Kind of shows what kind of year it has been. Jeff, thanks a lot. Good to see you.
Thank you.
All right, that's the president of the Illinois Corn Growers Association, Jeff Scates. We need to take one more break. Hey, he's got a fan club. Wow. We'll come back with the president of the Illinois Farm Bureau next on Agri Talk.